Hey, my name is Marco. I'm a pro opera singer turned voice actor. I love talking about video game music. I love listening to video game music. Today we're going to be listening to Wrathful Cerulean Flame from Arknights. I still do not know anything about Arknights. I'm just going to kind of dive right in because I don't really know what to expect. Here we go.
From the past, murmuring the dark, their words lie to guide me. Fight until the last, never lose your heart, and deep within the whispers power flows.
Holy crap, this is like musical theater meets art song meets opera meets classical music. This is very, very interesting. I want to stop there really quickly because we have this intro which paints a picture of sadness and despair, and there's some sort of agitation emotionally that it's occurring, right? And then we have this violin over top, which the violin is so incredibly expressive. I think of Meditations from Thais as a prime example of the power of the violin. Here, check this out. And on and on and on. Not totally dissimilar to what I was just listening to with Wrathful Cerulean Flame, especially that introduction. And then we have this beautiful singer, this beautiful soprano come in. But there's an emphasis on the lyrics here, and our diction is very crisp, very clear. That aids in the emotions, and it's starting in a kind of a lower sitting position in the register, and I assume there's going to be a great big buildup where she's up in her middle register, and it's evocative, and it evokes this sense of sadness and the sense of mystery here and sense of despair that is evident to me.
The twisting, churning feeling, something's growing.
There's actually multiple things happening here. There's a duet between the soprano and the orchestra, but then actually the orchestra's lifting her up and keeping her buoyant. Then on top of that, you have a duet there with the soprano and the violin. Then you've got a duet with the piano and the violin, which is also really interesting. Based on what I'm hearing with the lyrics, this is actually a song of confidence, of self-discovery, of reflection, and there is a bit of taking off that backpack with the heavy stones and emerging as yourself and standing up for yourself and standing proud in your prowess and your ability to take on the world. It's very actually inspired. but it's psychological. This music is very smart and intelligent, and it's amazing. It's really interesting and unique. I'm also liking this section right here because there is this play with the bum, bum, bum. Now we're using the soprano not as a soloist, but as an ensemble member, which is always really interesting to me. And she's aiding the orchestration generally. It's really cool. Such a beautiful technique, that belting, "Get the clouds away," completely straight toned, using full belly support, full body support, open throat, relaxed throat, fantastic singing. And what's cool is that then near the end, there's that very introspective moment, which I think is such a beautiful thing to do in music, to have this big belted climax and then to pull back. And the pulling back usually, especially near the end of a piece, in my experience, has been very introspective and very reflective and self-reflective, rather than this outcry, which is what we do when we are singing full out, and it's like we're throwing it to the back of the audience, the back of the theater. That's much more like, hey, look at me, look at what I'm going through, I'm changing. Wait, I'm changing. And that's very introverted and very internal. And so we have that duality and that juxtaposition between being out loud and then pulling back and being quiet and still within oneself. Of course, with the climax, the use of the drums, fantastic. Boom, ba bum, bum, ba bum, bum. It almost sounded like there was a full choir there when the orchestra was blasting and supporting her and elevating this whole piece to the stratosphere. It's amazing when we have this orchestral climax. It's one of the many things, actually, I should say, that make orchestral musical climaxes so intense, is that you have a 60 to 80 person orchestra behind you. And first of all, as a singer, that sound is nothing. That's the one thing I miss the most of singing, is singing with an orchestra, because you can't match the sheer joy of singing with a 40 to 80 person ensemble, and to feel that support by the orchestra is truly mesmerizing as a performer. But then also there's just something so unique about classical instrumentation that lifts and it almost levitates a climax like that, and it's just so human and so sonorous and loud, and it hits you. Something about all those instruments that cuts right to the soul that I can't really explain, but it's really a profound experience and sensation, whether you're in the audience or you're the performer standing on the lip of the stage with the orchestra behind you. There's nothing like it. And it's extraordinary. And this piece was really beautiful, really emotive, and really deeply analyzing the psychological components of what it means to finally stand up on your own 2 feet and step into your power. And pieces like this are always so uniquely interesting to me. And this is great to listen to. As always, thanks a ton. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.